So, hello everyone. This one is our fast discussion with you, and uh, today basically we will see our CC1 paper and a particular unit from that CC1, and this unit is unit 4. And if you look at your syllabus, then you can see this unit 4 is all about culture, and there are some sub points, because culture is a quite broad area. So according to our syllabus, we will focus on few important areas of culture. Okay, so these areas are obviously the very first one is the very basic one, that is concept of culture. So here we will see the main ideas, or you may say the definition, though it is very difficult to define culture in that way, but there are some important definitions given by important sociologists and anthropologists. So we will see those definitions, and after that, or along with that, we will discuss some basic concepts or introductory ideas. Then four very important, you may say, elements of culture are there, which are included also in your syllabus. These are norms, values, folkways and mores. Okay, so norms, values, folkways and mores we will discuss separately. Then again another topic is mentioned, but what I think when we will discuss these parts, features of culture and components of culture, this will automatically come. So at the very beginning, these things will cover. Then two more sub points what we have. These are significance of culture in society. So what we can understand very easily, that when we are talking about human society, so significance of culture is immense. And finally, or last one, but of course not the least, the subtopic is culture and personality. So that means what role culture plays to form a personality of a man or any individual, as well as when we talk about any community, any society, any group. That is, there is also a conception of general personality, general nature. So that is, and a particular culture. So these two things, how society and culture is interrelated to each other, as well as from individualistic point of view, from an individual, how culture helps to be a person. So in the formation of personality, what is the role of culture? So this is our main, you may say, the main areas of discussion in unit 4 of your first paper, that is core course 1, or what we say CC1. Fine. Now as we all know, sociology is basically, it's all about society. Now the question is, so what kind of society, right? So it is about human society, or we may say this is about the most superior type of society. What is human society, or that is human society. Now if you notice carefully, bees and ants, they also have a society of their own. They are also very disciplined, and they follow a very systematic lifestyle. Distribution of work, that is also very much well defined and systematic and logical among them. So they have a society of their own. But human society, of course, it is much different, as well as what we are saying, that is superior than any other kind of society. Now the question is, what is that element, what is making, or that is making human society is superior than any other kind of society or any other type of society. So this is here comes the concept of culture. Okay, so culture is basically a very unique possession of human beings. As it is said that man is a social animal, as well as, or at the same time, it is also very true that man is a cultural animal. So this unique possession, or this particular feature of human society, it makes us so different from others. Now if we want to understand what exactly the meaning of culture in sociology. Now you must have heard that cultural program. We have a cultural evening today, or our club is arranging a cultural night. So that means here culture is mostly what the meaning they are trying to communicate or they're trying to transmit, that is something like fine arts or dance, music, musical night type of thing. And sometimes, very commonly, culture is used similarly as education. So cultural people means educated people, and those who are not so educated, they are not so cultured. So all these meanings or all these ideas, these are not actually the sociological meaning of culture. If not wrong, they may not be completely wrong, but not the sociological meaning of culture. Again, sometimes you will see there is a tendency to compare between two cultures. So again, this sociologically, this comparison of culture is not possible. So very loosely or casually, sometimes you say that is it's a better culture, or this society, this group, they have uh, better culture than others. So better, lesser, more, less, this type of things, when some are stating in that way, that means they are actually focusing on some kind of achievements, no, like uh, or taste or styles. So these kind of things, it may be applicable in case of civilization, but not in case of culture. Culture is one's own very, which cannot be measured in that way, and it's not any hierarchical possession. So through science or technology or any other achievements in the areas of art or music or painting, you can't say this one is good or this one is bad. So this comparison between two cultures and giving them any rank is not sociologically, it is not possible. That means culture is an idea which is free from any value judgment. Historically also sometimes we see, that is a particular cultural period, cultural history of a certain period. That means they are talking about literature maybe, or they are talking about art, architecture, word, all these things. So these are achievements or maybe the points of civilization. So you must be thinking that I'm talking about only what culture is not. Then what is culture? What is the answer of this question? Actually, there are several definitions of culture, but the most popular one or widely quoted, you may say, that is given by Tyler, E.B. Tyler. So I am telling you that one, this definition. So he defined culture as a complex whole. Okay, as a complex whole where everything is included. If I read out that thing, then it is like that. That complex whole which includes knowledge, belief, art, morals, law, custom, and any other capabilities and habits acquired by man as a member of society. So this is culture. That means if I want to give you one word answer of or definition of culture, then it is said culture is a way of life. Okay, so that means how we are living our life, that is our culture, and it cannot be manifested or it cannot be expressed by any one or any particular element, ignoring others. The complex whole or a way of life, how I am talking, how I am thinking, what I am eating, what is my dress, what is my value pattern, what is my education, what is the culture, I mean thinking pattern. So my socialization, everything is included as a part of culture. So from this discussion, I think you have a basic idea about this very important part of the human life and society. Now we will see a few important characteristics. Okay, So this will help us to understand this idea in a more systematic way. So if we see first three uh, characteristics or features of culture, then these three are very basic and interrelated features. So interrelated and basic features, that means from our discussion, I think what you have understood, that is, culture is a social behavior. No, it is a social behavior and it is learned. So that's why it is said that culture is a learned behavior of human being. So there is a difference between a physical behavior or physiology and cultural behavior. Like if I give you an example, suppose if something is entering into my eyes, I will very spontaneously, this is a reflex that I will close my eyes. So this is a biological reflex. We need not to learn this thing from anyone. But whether I will take my food from a plate or from a leaf, that is, we need to learn that. Our language, a very important example of a cultural element or cultural trait. So we learn all these things. We learn to dress. We learn to comb our hair. So our food habit, our cooking style, our education. So whether I am driving a car or cycle. So all these things what we have learned from the society. So these are the features or elements of culture. So naturally here two things are very clear, that culture doesn't exist in isolation. Okay, we all know the story of Tarzan. So there are some other examples of that if any child, if upbringing of that child is in isolation, then he or she will not be able to learn anything. Be just like an animal. Because at the point of birth, we all are just like an animal, a biological entity. But with the help of the society, with the help of our family, our friends, our peer groups, so gradually we learn all these things, and after that we become a person. So from that individual to a social person, this is a journey, and in this journey we learn so many things from our society. So this is actually, as I told you, learned ways of behavior. So our actually when we are drinking something from a glass, or when we are reading our newspaper, or when we are reading our books, when we are talking to someone, when we are expressing our emotions, when we are singing, dancing, so all these are cultural activities, cultural behavior. What at the point of birth, or even after that, if we are in isolation, it is not possible for us to acquire those things. So it is of course social And then another point which is very related to it, so naturally it varies from society to society. Okay, because the nature of the society, it is not the same one, it varies. So naturally cultural pattern, our language varies, our food habit varies, our dress pattern it varies, our religion varies. So whatever is the cultural and social features, these are not same, or these are not uniform. Okay, and it varies from time to time even in the same society, because as society is, it's not any static idea, it is changing, it is ever changing. So culture of any particular society, that is also changing, and this change is actually obvious and very constant factor in case of any culture. So now next 2 points, what is or what are very important to mention, that is, so naturally culture, it is not a matter of only a particular time. So this one is shared. Culture is shared. Our parents or from our grandparents, we come to know many things. From our friends, we come to know many things. So from different other medium, this medium, they are giving us knowledge about the society. So it is only through sharing, no, we come to know about the values, norms, ideas, education, all these things from someone else, from our teachers, from our friends, from our siblings, from our parents, from all other, from our colleagues, so from the members of the society only. So that is, without sharing, this transmission is not possible. So when I am talking about this, the last word, transmission, no? So here we are getting another point, that culture is transmissive. So if we are not transmitting it, if we don't pass on these elements to the next generation, then existence of society or existence of culture is not possible. So this passing on or transmission, how we are doing this? We are not carrying it in our genes. So we are carrying, or we are transmitting it through our language. So language is the most important vehicle, we may say, which is carrying and passing different cultural traits from one generation to another generation, from one group to another group, from one community to another community, or in general from one society to another society. And this language in different forms, it's not always verbal, the written form, then of course the verbal one is there, then writing one, reading, writing, all these forms. And in today's context, if we say, then media, our radio, television, so audio visual media, and of course the social media. All these are very important. They perform a great role in case of transmission of culture. So this transmissive nature of the culture is another very important point when we are discussing or when we are talking about the characteristics of culture. So this uh, transmission is important to make culture cumulative and continuous. As we were talking about that media, so see, now in these days physical classes, these are not possible. So we have to maintain social distancing, so we can't arrange and we can't share our views and we can't discuss in our physical classes at a place, coming and sitting together. These things are restricted, but still we are communicating in one way or the other. So this is actually important one, and I am sharing my knowledge, and at the same time I am expecting that you will give your feedback, some interactive session that will be there. So unless and until our forefathers or our previous generation is giving us their knowledge, so it is not possible for us to know all these things. So this is, you must have heard of a word that is heritage. No, it's a matter of social heritage. Social heritage, it is like a flowing, no, as river is flowing, similarly these cultural traits are continuously and in a cumulative way it is flowing. So that's why it is said that culture is like the memory of the human race. So as we are with this changing time, it is not like that we are just forgetting our past, or we are not continuing any features of our previous generation or previous time. Rather, we are carrying all these things and moving forward, just like a river. So that's why this continuous and this transmission. So here you just try to relate one point with another. So this transmission is making our cultural pattern a kind of flow of knowledge and making it a continuous and cumulative ideas or features of the society. Here I just want to mention two more important points. That is, though culture is adaptive and dynamic in nature. So as I was telling you, that it is not any static idea. As society is changing, so naturally that cultural elements, cultural traits, these are also changing or dynamic. And it is responsive. Responsive means it is generally our cultural elements, these are ready to adapt new changes. So afterwards actually you will get a term which is known as syncretism. Okay, so syncretic ideas, so gradually you will study that assimilation or diffusion. That means these are mixing of two cultural ideas, or where one dominant culture is actually covering the minor one, or sometimes that intermingling or intermixing of different cultural traits. So if I say in common, with the help of common examples, that all over the world, no, Chinese food or Chinese items or continental foods. These are very famous. Western dresses. So now it is very common to all of us. Language. So all over the country, if I give you or if we talk about our country, then we have so many states, so many regions, so many languages. But Hindi, for example, it is one common language through which we can communicate with each other mostly. So adaptation is a very natural quality, you may say, in case of culture. Culture is ready to accept other elements. So experiencing new things, it is open, it is responsive. It is not like that it is very closed kind of factor. But with that dynamic and adaptive nature of culture, there are features of a consistency, and you may say that is culture is at the same time also integrated. So it is changing, but it's not very fast changing, and afterwards you will see there are two types of culture, or there are two components of culture. One is material culture, another one is non-material culture. So from these two terms, as you can understand, material culture, when we talk about materialistic things, then it is our dress, our ornament, or something like our specs, or our pen, our mobile phone. So these are external features. But our values, our ideas, our thinking pattern, our skill, our education, these things are very much internal. Our religion. So these elements or traits, these are non-materialistic. So you can't, like our senses, through our senses you can touch them or you only feel them. So there is a relation between materialistic and non-materialistic components of culture, but from our common sense what we can also understand, no, that is experiencing or having